Hi everyone. In this session, we will begin one new chapter, that is wave optics. So, when you heard the name wave optics, you are very much familiar with one word, that is optics. Because you have already completed the half portion of the optics, that is ray optics. So you take ray optics or you take wave optics. Both are nothing but study of phenomena shown by light. So optics is nothing but study of phenomena of light. We are not going to invent anything new here. Or what people have done in optics is, what are all the different phenomena a light can show, those all phenomena they observed first, and then they understood in their own way, then they explained the reason behind it. So how it happens, why it happens, so what are the formulas we can apply in particular situation. That is what the optics. And you have studied the different phenomena like reflection, refraction, total internal reflection and dispersion. Of course, scattering of light also. So these are all the phenomena you have studied. And now we will study few more phenomena. Few more phenomena. Those are interference, diffraction and polarization. Three more. Now immediately you should get one doubt. I don't know whether you got it or not. But what is the doubt? The doubt is, sir, if it is completely optics, then we can have it like one single chapter. Why we have divided them like two? Yes or no? The reason is, light has different nature. Light has different nature. See here. When you consider light, so it is a kind of energy, first point. And it travels from one point to another point. Yes or no? From the sun, the biggest and the natural source of light energy. So the light is traveling from sun to various parts of the earth. Traveling means what? You have studied kinematics, motion. So a particle is traveling means what? It is performing a motion. It is performing a motion. Here, light also traveling means it has a kind of motion. And in ray optics, you have studied everything by assuming. What? Assumption. By assuming that light travels in the form of particles. That means light has particle nature. You have given what kind of nature to explain all the phenomena which you have studied in ray optics is particle nature. Who has given that theory? That is Newton. Newton corpuscular theory. So corpuscle is a particle, small particle he defined. So when a beam of light is coming, it is nothing but sum of many such small tiny particles called, or he named as corpuscle. That's why the theory is called Newton corpuscle theory. According to that, what he said is, When you consider light is coming, each particle travels its own path in one particular path. So, the path followed by one such particle you called as ray. Ray of light or light ray. So, you have explained all the phenomena based on this property of light ray only. Everywhere you will say light ray is bending, light ray is getting reflected, light ray is undergoing dispersion, deviation. So everywhere you talk about what? Light ray. Everywhere you talk about light ray. So based on the particle nature, based on Newton corpuscular theory, you said that light has ray nature. So light travels in the form of rays, and you have explained all the phenomena. So all those phenomena based on rays. That's why you called as ray optics. Now we are talking about wave optics. Then you might have got some idea, little idea that ray optics. So light travels in the form of rays. Definitely. Here wave optics means what? What we can say? Light also travels in the form of wave. Light also travels in the form of wave. That was suggested, and that is another theory given by Huygens. Huygens or Huygens, you can say anything. So he gave the theory, Huygens wave theory, or he said that light also travels in the wave form. But the truth is, light travels once only. It's not like in one time it will travel in ray nature and in another time it travels in wave nature. No, light travels. Light has both different nature. So depending upon the phenomena to explain, they assumed particular nature. Why? Because initially Newton gave particle nature, and he said light travels in the form of rays, and people have successfully explained all the phenomena like reflection, refraction, total internal reflection and dispersion, even scattering of light. But later people found different nature, different phenomena. So why they have given different nature? Because just to explain the different phenomena shown by light. So light shown different phenomena. Light shown different phenomena. So to explain those phenomena, what are the phenomena I said? Interference, diffraction and polarization. So first, to explain this interference, Huygens gave wave nature. So he said light travels in the form of waves, so that he successfully explained the phenomena called interference, because the particle nature was failed to explain the phenomena called interference, which was shown by light. So that's why the people started thinking, what else? What else? So they gave wave nature and they explained interference. But scientists are have crucial mind. They don't satisfy with one thing. They always search for new things. They need more to increase burden on us. So they started finding different way, and they found one more phenomena called diffraction, but still they were able to explain it based on the same theory, Huygens wave theory, that is wave nature only. So that These two phenomena was successfully explained based on the Huygens wave theory. Then they found one more phenomena. I don't know how many more they will found in future, but one more, that is polarization. So polarization, they were unable to explain based on the simple wave theory which was given by Huygens. Then Maxwell came. He said light is not just a wave, it is something else more, that is called electromagnetic wave. That he said that electromagnetic wave, and he gave electromagnetic wave theory. Of course you will study one separate chapter, electromagnetic waves also, but here we will take the introduction, like what is the meaning of electromagnetic wave. So we need to understand these three phenomena in this chapter. But to understand this, we need to know all the basics of waves, which you have studied in first PUC. Where? First PUC. Those are the things first we need to revise. Then we'll enter into this chapter. But before just entering here, taking the basics which we require to understand this chapter, let me just briefly tell you about these three things. Interference, diffraction, both are almost the same. Nothing but superposition. Superposition means what? Mixing. When two different light waves mix each other, what happens? That is the study of phenomena like interference and diffraction, which we will study in detail. So who has done that is Young's double slit experiment. So what are all the things and what type of questions will come in the entrance point of view, we will discuss it. And polarization. In a simple way, to understand polarization, it is nothing but cutting of light. Cutting of light means not like you will cut with a knife or something, okay? You will cut with some phenomena, that is polarization. Just simple example, you wear spectacles. What spectacles? Not for sight or headache. Sunglasses. To protect your eyes from the sunlight. What actually happens is, it will cut a portion of light when it passes through it. So that is called polarization. When the light passes through that glass, a portion of light cut by that glass, it will stop a portion. Only a part will enter and it will expose to your eye, so that your eye feels cold than without glasses. So that is called simple meaning of polarization. But first let us understand all the basics which we needed, otherwise wave optics becomes tougher. Let us make easier by understanding all the basics required. Right? Let us see the basics required. Now, as I said, we need basics. What basics? First, what is the meaning of wave? We need to understand the meaning of wave. Or better to say wave motion. Every motion you can see with your eye. You can observe a particle is moving, bus is moving. Even when you take the very high level telescope, you can observe the far objects. Of course you cannot observe exactly like the motion of the planets, but every motions can be understood and you can observe with your naked eye. But the only motion which you cannot see with your naked eye, that is called wave motion. Wave motion is nothing but something which travels an amount of energy from one point to another point, but you cannot see it. The best example I am speaking. Now everyone who are near to me, they can listen to me, but they don't see how the sound is traveling. Sound is nothing but what? Energy. A form of energy. Similar way, light is coming, but we cannot see in what way it is traveling. That motion. It is traveling means it is performing motion. And that motion, what we call it as? Wave motion. So, like that, there are many motions. So, many examples you can understand for the wave motion. So, a motion which generates from the vibration of the particles of the medium. What is the meaning? See here. Now here you are standing. You are delivering your speech. You are speaking. Here I am standing or someone else is standing. He is able to listen. He is able to hear you what you are saying. That means the sound is traveling from here to here. With the help of what? The particles of the medium existing between source and observer. They vibrate. They vibrate. Vibration means what? From one particular position, if the particle moves in such a way that to and fro in any direction, it should not go anywhere. It will just move like this. You can say oscillation. You can say vibration. So, such kind of motion they perform. Who will perform? The particles of the medium between observer and source and observer. So, that motion which generates from the vibration of the particles of the medium and which carries energy from one place to other place. It may be sound energy, it may be light energy, it may be something else. So that kind of motion we call it as wave motion. Now, we will write one equation for the wave motion, that is y equal to a sin omega t plus or minus kx. Y equal to a sin omega t plus or minus kx. What is y? What is a? What is omega? What is k? So these all things you have studied. Even you can represent simply sometimes with a sin omega t also. But this is the generalized wave equation. So where if you observe the equation, y is a function of t and x. Y is a function of t and x. What is t? Time. T is time. What is x? Not displacement, position. What is this? Position. Now, let's take one wave. Any wave, sound wave, light wave, any wave. It is traveling from one point to another point like this. From here to here it traveled. Wave always travels in straight line only. Because many times student ask me question that we will represent the waveform like this. Sir, wave will move like this. No. Wave will not move like this. Wave will move in straight way only. But what is this? That also will understand. So here, when any wave travel from one point to another point, let's take like A to B. Then, what is existing between A and B? Some medium. So, the particles of the medium are existing everywhere. When that wave energy absorbed by one particle, it starts vibrating. It got excited and it will vibrate. Like from this point, it may move like this, or it may move like this. Two possibilities are there. And if the wave is traveling in this way and particles of the medium are vibrating parallel to it, please understand it. Wave motion is horizontal. Vibration of each particle is also along horizontal like this. Then such wave is called what? Longitudinal wave. Which wave? Longitudinal wave. If the particles of the medium are vibrating in perpendicular direction like this, you take one string, attach to one support, fixed support, and take the other end, give a jerk, then the string will move like this. This is not wave. So the wave is traveling from here to here. Wave is traveling from here to here, and the particles of the medium are vibrating up, down, up, down, up, down. So wave motion is horizontal, vibration is perpendicular. Such waves we call it as transverse wave. This is longitudinal, this is transverse wave. So longitudinal wave means direction of propagation of wave and direction of vibration of particles of the medium, both are same. Both are same. If you consider transverse wave like this, direction of propagation of wave and direction of vibration of particles, both are perpendicular. So why we need this definition? Because here light is a transverse wave. First of all, you should understand and you should remember that light is a transverse wave. First thing. Then light is non-mechanical wave. Light travels in medium as well as light travels without medium also. Like in space, vacuum, also light travels. From sun to earth when you take, in the initial space, when you take the space near to sun, there is completely empty, no medium, still light is traveling. That's why it is called non-mechanical wave. So wave which needs medium to propagate, that is called mechanical wave. Like sound wave. Sound cannot travel without medium. And light is non-mechanical wave which travels without medium also. In medium also travels, without medium also travels. So that's why it is called non-mechanical transverse wave. First basic point. Then talk about this equation. See here, as I said, the light is traveling from, or any wave is traveling from one point to another point, A to B. You take any wave, longitudinal or transverse. What happens in the medium? The particles vibrate. Particles vibrate maybe like this or maybe like this. Both possibilities are there. Now, here, what is this X first? See, if they mention the light is traveling along positive x-axis, then here comes minus kx. If the light is traveling in negative x-axis, then here comes plus kx, because minus of minus x, because this side negative values. So minus of minus plus it will become. So that omega t minus kx for wave traveling in positive x-axis, omega t plus kx wave traveling in negative x-axis. That is also very important. Then, so here x is position of the particle. See, from here to here. Now this is the starting point. So you will take, this is y-axis and this is x-axis. Now here particle is vibrating. Particle is vibrating. So here at particular position, let's take x1, or at another particular position, let's take x2. One particle will vibrate, so that it may be here at a particular instant, it may be here, it may be here. Because vibration means from the equilibrium position, it will move to one maximum displacement, then come back, then moves in opposite direction, then again come back. This is called one complete oscillation or vibration. And this maximum displacement from the equilibrium position is called amplitude. Amplitude means what? The maximum displacement of the particle of the medium from equilibrium position, that is A. Now, what is Y? Y is displacement of the particle from equilibrium at any time. It may be here, it may be here, it may be here, anywhere. So what is Y? Displacement of the particle which is vibrating. Displacement of the particle which is vibrating. So for a particle at any position x1, the displacement you will represent with this y. And the displacement is varying sinusoidally. Sinusoidally means what? At sin 0, 0 initially here, equilibrium. Sin 0 is 0. So what is the displacement? 0. Then at 90, sin 90, 1. Displacement is A, maximum. Means it went to one extreme position, positive displacement. So what is this value? A. Then when this value pi 180 degrees, sin 180, 0. So again displacement will become 0. That means it will come back. So again displacement will become 0. Then this is 3 pi by 2. So pi plus pi by 2. Sin 3 pi by 2 minus 1. So minus 1 is displacement is minus A. So that means it went to another extreme position. The displacement is maximum but negative. So it will go to minus A. So what is this value? Minus A. Then it will come back after 2 pi because the total phase covered is 360 degrees for one vibration. One rotation means what? Full. Full rotation means what is the angle? 360. So that it will come back. So this is the representation of displacement of the vibrating particle. Not this is wave motion. Wave is traveling along straight line only. This is the representation of vibration. So this is the vibrational particle displacement variation with respect to time or with respect to phase. So that first from equilibrium position it will go to one extreme end. So displacement becomes maximum equal to amplitude. Then come back to equilibrium. So displacement becomes 0. Then goes to other extreme. So that displacement becomes negative maximum. Then come back. So the displacement will become 0. So that finally here if you consider the equation y equal to a sin omega t minus kx. A is maximum displacement, nothing but amplitude, and omega is 2 pi by t, where t is time period. It is angular frequency or angular velocity, and k is 2 pi by lambda, wave number, and x is position of particle. Position of particle. So here the displacement, see here. Take the same string example. String. Now you have given a jerk so that the string is going like this. Now if you consider at particular instant, this is the shape of the string, this one, like this. So if you consider this particle, it displaced by this much. If you consider this particle, it displaced by this much. If you consider this point, this is not displaced, zero displacement. And this one negative displacement, this one positive displacement, this one negative displacement. So different particles of the medium. Here wave is traveling on which medium? Thread. Thread is the medium. So here, so the particles of the medium moving perpendicular like this. And at different positions, particles displacement is different. One is positive, one is negative, one is small, one is greater. So that's why displacement of the vibrating particle depends upon time as well as position. Now after some time, same string shape may come like this. So this particle went here. Now it went here. So at one particular instant positive, at another particular instant it is negative. Positive, negative. So that's why the displacement of the vibrating particle always depends upon position as well as time. That's why it is a function of time and position, where the particular parameters have their usual meaning. Remember this. And one more thing. Now, the wave travelled from here to here. Wave travelled from here to here as one vibration completed. One vibration means we will represent like this. So particle completed one vibration and the wave travelled this much of distance. So that this total length covered by wave as particle completed one vibration, like this is called one vibration. When one particle completed one vibration, within that duration called time period, the wave travelled by some distance. That distance is called lambda, wavelength. Wavelength. So this is wavelength. This is time period. Now, so within a time t, the wave travelled this much of distance. Wave is travelling, it is performing a motion. For every body which is having motion, which is performing motion, there must be some speed. Speed equal to what? Distance by time. So speed of wave will become distance. It covered a distance called wavelength. It covered some distance in what time? T time. So what is the speed formula? Lambda by t. But 1 by t is what? F, frequency. Number of revolutions or vibrations in 1 second is called what? Frequency. So that V equal to 1 by t, I can write it as F lambda. Or else, same thing you can also write like this. So speed equal to lambda by t. And I will write it like lambda into 2 pi by t into 2 pi. I multiplied with 2 pi divided with 2 pi. And I will write 2 pi by t once. 2 pi by t together. Then I will bring lambda to denominator. So 2 pi by lambda. Because 2 pi get cancelled, then it will become lambda by t. Same. 2 pi by t is omega. 2 pi by lambda is k, wave number. So what is the speed of wave? Omega by k. Either lambda by t or f lambda or omega by k. So this is the general introduction of wave equation. Why we call it as wave equation, and why it is a function of time and displacement, and what are all the parameters associated with wave equation. Now we need to understand mainly here the superposition of waves. But before that, from the first PU waves chapter, you have studied one thing, that is intensity of a wave. That is also important, because in the wave optics completely we talk about intensity of a wave. That intensity is proportional to a square. What is a? Amplitude. What is a? Amplitude. Greater the amplitude, greater the intensity. And this relation also very much important. This also we have studied in first PUC. Right? So let us now understand the basics required related to superposition. What is that? Superposition of waves. So what is the meaning of superposition? What are the types of superposition? And what will happen if there is a superposition? How the resultant wave becomes. Right? Let us understand it. So if we take the wave equation y equal to a sine omega t plus or minus kx, or y equal to a sine omega t. So this is the displacement variation of the vibrating particle. So that here if you understand, y is displacement, a is amplitude, omega t plus or minus kx is phase. Phase means angular position. Omega equal to 2 pi by t. K equal to 2 pi by lambda, wave number. This is what we have the relation. Of course, speed is omega by k or f into lambda, or else lambda by t. So here the phase, the word, little bit confusion, but I'll tell you with the example of simple pendulum. See here, if you take a simple pendulum and when you displace it, so there is a linear displacement, there is an angular displacement. So for every oscillating particle, you can relate this displacement, linear displacement and angular displacement. So that is called this phase. So at a particular instant, the angular position is called phase. But there is also a corresponding linear position, linear displacement. And there is also a relation between these two, which you have studied again in first PUC. That is delta pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. Between two particles, phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into delta x. Delta x is what? Path difference, linear displacement. So for every linear displacement, there is a corresponding phase difference. For every linear position, there is an angular position. That only we will call it as this one, angle. Sine of something is called what? Angle. That only angular position. That only in wave language what we call it as? Phase. Omega t plus or minus kx is called phase. Now, this delta pi is also equal to 2 pi by t into delta t in terms of time difference. These are the two formulas for phase difference between two waves. Now, take any particular wave. Then, if you represent the wave here like this, this is at t equal to 0 starting, and from here to here one vibration completed. So what is the time taken? Capital T, time period. And here half of the vibration. So what is the time period? T by 2. This is quarter. So what is the time? T by 4. This is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 3/4, 3t by 4. So that this is one oscillation or one vibration. But same thing you will also tell in terms of angle, I mean phase. 0, this is pi by 2, this is pi, and this is 3 pi by 2, and this is 2 pi. The same thing also you will tell in terms of linear displacement. From here to here, lambda. Linear position, linear displacement lambda means angular displacement 2 pi, and the time period is t, or from here to here, lambda by 2. So for a linear position lambda by 2, the angular position is how much? Pi, 180 degrees. Let us check this formula. So for lambda by 2 linear displacement, the corresponding angular displacement or phase is pi. Let's see. So delta pi equal to 2 pi by lambda into, what is delta x between these 2 points? Lambda by 2. So lambda 2 cancel, how much? Pi. What is the phase difference between these 2 points? Pi. So for every linear separation there is a angular separation. So this way you can represent the displacement variation of a vibrating particle in terms of phase, in terms of time, in terms of wavelength. So this is the way you can represent. Right? Now, here when one wave is traveling and another wave is already started, like suppose one is traveling from here like this continuously. Now another started from here and they superimposed here. Now what happened here? This mixed with this one. This wave mixed with this one. That is called superimposition. So one imposed on other one. That is called superimposition or superposition of waves. Then what happens is these two waves mix each other and they become like one wave. They become like, or they behave like one single wave. Like one torchlight you focus, another light you focus. Both will mix and the brightness will increase. So superposition happens. But it is not that simple here. So what is the thing is, see here, the possibilities. First possibility. Here one wave started and the other wave can also start from this point only, like this. Amplitudes are different, displacements are different, but what is true? They started from same point, same time, same position. So there is no linear path difference initially. Obviously, delta x 0 means delta pi also how much? 0. So what is the phase difference in this case? 0. Here, what is happening if you observe the diagram? This reached one extreme position and this also reached one extreme position simultaneously. So, the positive pulse superimposed with positive pulse, so that one is vibrating and the other is also trying to vibrate in the same manner. Please try to understand. Now, there is a medium. There is a medium. Now one wave is trying to vibrate one particle by some displacement. Now one more wave entered in the same medium that also tried to vibrate the particle with some other amplitude. So this will push it up by some distance. This will also push it up by some other distance. Suppose this pushed up by 1 centimeter. This pushed up by 2. Then total what will happen? 1 plus 2. So total displacement will become 3. Such kind of superposition is called constructive superposition. Why? Because construction, you are building up something. What you are building up? Amplitude. What you are building up? Amplitude. So here amplitude is increasing and I gave the relation that intensity is proportional to A square. So as amplitude increases, intensity also what happens? Increases. But this is not always happens. This can happen in one case. But same kind of superposition can happen in different situations also. What is that? See here. This wave, this blue one, it started here, but it can start here also, here. Still, here, both are superposing such that what kind of superposition takes place? Constructive superposition. Positive pulse imposing on positive, negative one imposing on negative. So that again constructive superposition, but in this case there is a linear separation between the two waves. They are not starting from same position. So that here delta pi is how much? See, one started here, one started here. What is this length? One vibration. One vibration means what is the length equal to? Lambda. What is the path difference here? Here 0. But here delta x is lambda. When delta x is lambda, what is the corresponding phase difference? 2 pi. So if two waves starting from same point, or if they starting from two different points but with initial separation lambda, then they will go for constructive superposition. That means delta x may be 0, delta x may be lambda. Now you have to check, is these two cases possible or more? Now let's take here. This is our first way. Now the first case we have seen, both are starting at same point. Now in another case, this can start from here, we have seen. In another case, this can start from here also. Lambda, lambda. So this black one started from here and this blue one started from here. What is the path difference? Lambda plus lambda, 2 lambda. If delta x 2 lambda, still they undergo for what? Constructive superposition. Similarly, this can start here. Now one more lambda. 3 lambda. Next 4 lambda, 5 lambda. So delta x between any two light waves or any waves is 0 or lambda or 2 lambda or 3 lambda or so on. Nothing but n lambda, where n starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Then what kind of superposition they take place? Constructive superposition. So that the resultant amplitude will become A1 plus A2. Maximum. What it is? Maximum resultant amplitude. That is A1 plus A2. Now, so delta x can be any of these values, like integral multiples of lambda, 5 lambda, 10 lambda, 100 lambda, 1000 lambda, but n into lambda. But not like 0.5 lambda or 3 by 4 lambda, something. Always integral multiples of lambda. So that what is the corresponding phase difference should be? That is 2 pi by lambda into delta x equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x is n lambda, lambda, lambda cancel, 2n pi. So delta pi can be n0 means 0, n1 means 2 pi, n2 means 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, so on. Then you can make the condition that between two waves, if any of these path difference means linear displacement or any of these phase difference condition they have given, then you can conclude they undergo constructive superposition. Otherwise, destructive superposition. What is that? Let's take it. Now, take the same way. Now, this is one wave. Now, another wave imposed like this. So, positive pulse imposed on negative pulse. So, negative pulse imposed on positive pulse. Opposite. That means, one wave is trying to displace the particle up at one instant, but another wave is trying to displace it down. So, one is trying to move up by 2 centimeter, another will bring it down by 1 centimeter. So, what is the resultant? One is brought 1 centimeter down, one is brought 2 centimeter up. So, what is the resultant? 2 minus 1. So, the resultant amplitude will become A1 minus A2 or A2 minus A1. So, the amplitude becomes minimum. That's why it is called destructive superposition. Destructive means what? You are vanishing something. You are reducing the value. What value? Amplitude. As amplitude decreases, intensity also what happens? Reduces. So, here in this case, but this wave will not start like this. What is the general form of wave equation? Like this. So, it should start from somewhere here actually. So, if it starts from here, then it can impose in this manner. So, the starting point of black one is this one, blue one is this one. So, this is how much? Half vibration. So, what is the path difference? Lambda by 2. So, for lambda by 2 path difference, what is the corresponding phase difference? You find it delta pi, 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So, 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 2, lambda 2, pi. What is the phase difference? Pi. Of course, I told you already. Or else, this can start from here. This blue one can start from here also. Still, when it reaches here, what kind of superposition is happening? Destructive. Positive one, negative, negative one, positive. So that here one more lambda. Lambda plus lambda by 2. 3 lambda by 2. Now the next possibility is 3 lambda by 2. What is the corresponding phase difference? 2 pi by lambda times 3 lambda by 2. How much? 3 pi. So first pi, then 3 pi. Next it can also start from here. So one more lambda. Lambda plus lambda plus lambda by 2. 5 lambda by 2. 5 lambda by 2 means here 5 pi will come. Next, 7 lambda by 2, 7 pi. 9 lambda by 2, 9 pi. So on. So that here condition what will come is, for destructive superposition, delta x can be minimum first lambda by 2, next 3 lambda by 2, next 5 lambda by 2, next so on. Here 0 lambda, the mid value is lambda by 2. So if 0 or lambda, constructive superposition. If it is lambda by 2, then destructive superposition. So that the corresponding delta pi will become, here 0 to 2 pi. What is the middle one? Pi. 2 pi to 4 pi. Middle one 3 pi, 5 pi, so on. So if two waves are having any of these path difference or any of these phase difference they mentioned, then they undergo destructive superposition. In generally what we can write? So delta x equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, or delta pi equal to 2n plus 1 into 5, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. If n 0 you substitute lambda by 2. If n 1 you substitute 3 lambda by 2. n 2 you substitute 5 lambda by 2. Or here if you substitute n 0 5, n 1 3 pi, n 2 5 pi, n 3 7 pi, so on. So finally this is the condition for destructive superposition and this is the condition for constructive superposition. So two waves traveling in same direction, if they superimpose, then the resultant wave may look like in the following manner. Now I will conclude finally that, see. So if it superimposes like this, the resultant wave will become like this. A1, this is A2, the resultant will become A1 plus A2, constructive superposition, where delta x can be n lambda, delta pi can be 2n pi, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Similarly, and this is A1, this is A2, then the resultant will become like this. This is A2 minus A1, here A1 plus A2. This is called destructive superposition, where delta x equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, delta pi 2n plus 1 pi, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. So these are the conditions for constructive superposition and destructive superposition, so that we can understand the phenomena of interference in wave optics. Because interference is nothing but superposition of light waves only, but with certain condition. What is that condition and all, we will study further. And one more thing also will come here, that is, if it is, see here if you take delta x equal to like 0, lambda, 2 lambda, so on. Here if you take delta x equal to lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2 and so on. Right? So specified values only we are telling. But if it is not like 0 or lambda by 2 or lambda, suppose it is lambda by 4. It is lambda by 4. Then it is just superposition. You will not specify constructive or destructive. Then the generalized formula is a square equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos pi, where pi is the phase difference between the two waves. If pi is not belongs to these or not belongs to these values, any random value, then it is not constructive, not destructive, then it is just superposition. Then the resultant amplitude formula is this. But here and here it is clear. Constructive means directly A1 plus A2. Destructive means A2 minus A1. But here the resultant amplitude is something else. But these also you can get from the same formula. See here. Here what is the phase difference? 0. Cos 0 is how much? 1. So A square plus B square plus 2AB. Then A equal to what? A1 plus A2. Here what is the phase difference? First minimum, pi, 180. Cos 180 is how much? Minus 1. So A square plus B square minus 2AB. Then what you will get? A minus B. So this is the generalized formula for superposition of two waves with amplitudes A1, A2 with phase difference pi. Then they behave like one single wave having amplitude A. So this is what the understanding of what is the difference between constructive superposition and destructive superposition. But our main target in this chapter is these two only, not this one much. But still some questions will come based on this. How those questions will come, all those things we will discuss. Still few more things, few more basics we need to understand, then only we can enter into chapter. Those things we'll study in the coming class. So thank you so much.